Welcome to the Genealogy Show Speaker Takeover. I'm Doreen Hopwood and my topic is In Memoriam, Records of Commemoration in the United Kingdom. With the Genealogy Show 2020 sadly postponed until 2021, I hope you'll enjoy this synopsis of what you can expect to see at next year's show. As family historians, we follow our ancestors from the cradle to the grave, and here we look at ways in which their memory has been kept alive. Gravestones and their inscriptions are the most obviously visible form of commemoration, but don't be surprised that there are few surviving old headstones in church burial grounds, as graves were often simply marked with wooden crosses. The nobility has been buried within the church from earliest times, but by the 1700s, monuments were beginning to appear in churchyards, as the better off also wanted to preserve the memory of their loved ones in stone. These were a visible display of the family status, taste and wealth, and became even more elaborate and expensive as the Victorian middle classes followed suit. We look at the symbolism attached to the location of the grave, its wording and its style. The vagaries of time, climate and man may have rendered the inscription totally illegible, or even caused the headstone to disappear altogether. But as long as there have been epitaphs, people have been recording them, and we'll look at ways to access this information and also at ongoing projects to preserve them. Don't worry if you haven't got a grave to visit, as remembrance takes many forms. These include memento mori, mourning jewellery and memorial cards. Lockets and brooches containing the woven hair of the deceased were a visible sign of grief and a very intimate reminder of a lost loved one. They were meant to be seen and touched and could be passed down the generations. With his untimely death in 1861, Prince Albert probably became the most visibly memorialised person in the country, as Albert memorials were erected and his face appeared on everything from handkerchiefs and teacups to water fountains. The mid-19th century saw the establishment of lots of large cemeteries, as overcrowded urban church burial grounds were proving to be a definite danger to public health. When Brookwood Cemetery was opened at Woking in 1854, it was the largest in the world and had its own railway line and station to accommodate the funeral cortege and visitors alike. Although cremation became possible from 1902, it wasn't widely practiced until well into the 20th century, and we look at the forms of remembrance attached to crematoria. The expanding British Empire meant that people were stationed all over the world, and memorials started to appear in this country to those who died abroad. This gave the grieving family a place to visit where they could feel close to their loved one, even though he or she was buried thousands of miles away. These types of memorials took an even greater significance during the First World War, when there were so many who had no known grave. Those who died during both World Wars and other conflicts are likely to be commemorated in more than one place, and we'll explore the sources to identify these, and also the work of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. Memorials come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, as could be seen at the National Memorial Arboretum at Alderus in Staffordshire, where there are over 300, dedicated to charities, organisations, armed and civilian forces, and to individuals. Although epitaphs may be carved in tablets of stone, you'll soon discover that there are many other ways in which we've managed to keep the memory of our ancestors alive. Please do follow us on all social media platforms to keep up to date with the latest news and information. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you at next year's show.